We're back from the dead.
Are you ready? Let's go.
Back from the dead.
We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
We're back from the dead. Back from the dead. Back from the dead. Back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all invited to go fucking mental on this motherfucking drop. The countdown has just begun. Are you ready? Let's go.
No, we're back from the dead. We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
We're back from the dead.
Are you ready? Let's go.
Back from the dead.
We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
We're back from the dead. from the dead. Back from the dead. Back from the dead.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. Kat, I'm just gonna pop you in right now. We don't usually.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I know. I don't usually do that, but I'm like, let's just pop you in. Welcome to the Ghost Girl Diaries podcast. This is for those of you brave enough to join the paranormal circle. I'm doing vampire glam today. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen that viral thing on TikTok where they did like the red underneath your eye? Have you seen that?
Yes.
I tried it. I feel a little dead. You know what I mean? Like, but it's fine. I don't
The
know.
embodiment of a vampire.
I don't know if I'm gonna do it again. Like, I feel like it was appropriate for today's stream, but I don't think I'll do it again. It's a little, you know, like I'm pale enough as it is. But you add the red under, you're like, whoa, yeah, I just like walked out of my coffin, like straight up, you know. So I feel like I should have called this like a vampire lore chat, because I feel like, I mean, I know we're talking about Vlad, but like, I don't know. I've always had a thing for vampires, you know, like that's, isn't that part of like the paranormal side of stuff?
It is. It just piques my interest, you know.
Just
you know
piques your interest. Oh, I like your background. That looks good.
Oh, thank you, Krystal.
Is that the one I got? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez.
I know, isn't it nice?
I like the gray tones. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I need to remove the blue tones from behind me. I feel like that makes me look even more like dead.
I like it though. It just like glows nice.
You
So
know,
I have some tea.
okay.
If you don't
Jeez.
mind me divulging into some tea.
Get
before
that
we jump
tea.
in.
I mean, get the
Okay.
tea.
I live for the tea, okay?
Okay.
I don't know if all y'all saw, but Zach Bagans' museum, Haunted Museum,
Oh, God, we're going
posted a
there.
picture of the demon house.
Okay.
And guess what he put back in there?
What?
Take a wild guess.
Put back
The mannequin.
the mannequin.
He put the mannequin back. Yeah. So, I think he took your advice and put it back. So that's the tea for the moment.
So
So
he
the
had
side,
he
okay.
had his little baby fit and got mad at me, and
Mm-hmm.
welcome to the life of executive producers and being friends as EPs. And you know, I think at the end of the day, like we're just like other people, and we fight too, and you know, like friends fight, and we both I know I'm laughing because I'm like I don't know how to address this. We both do like really respect each other at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like we really do. And like I'm probably one of the only people on earth that can like criticize him, and he actually like takes the information and like he got upset at first. He's an Aries, like he got upset
Aries.
and then he calmed down and he's like, okay, I'm gonna change it. So no, I mean, like I think people like to start like a fight thing between us. Like they want us to have like a fight, you know what I mean? Like I mean, we are rivals, even though I'm on YouTube. Like I have millions of views. Like we're still rivals, but I don't know. I feel like we've always had that back and forth thing of like sometimes fighting, sometimes, you know, like, and it's probably a power struggle because of what we both do, you know. But
Absolutely.
no hate. I don't have interesting cat. Oh, maybe I'm not boloed anymore. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Bolo, okay. On Bolo.
Marco
thing,
Polo
okay.
Bolo. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fine.
Marco Polo Bolo. I cried laughing when you put that in group chat. It was
Oh
hilarious.
man. So anyway, yeah, no, I don't have, you know, it's funny. I'm glad he took my advice, you know? Like I want success for the museum. I want success for him, but there was some strange things in there, and it was weird. It was really
Yeah.
building a wall, and there was some weird stuff. So yeah, I hope he took my advice. You know, I wasn't meant to piss him off to Kingdom Come, but you know, it's okay. We all get emotional. It's you know, quarantine's been rough on all of us, you know? Like what can I say other than that, you
A
know?
long year.
It
It's been a
has.
long year.
I'm really glad I'm vaccinated, because like now I feel confident enough to go eat at a restaurant, and I can maybe, you know, be social again someday, you know?
No, me too. I want to go out to Vegas soon.
Oh yeah, I know. Aren't you? Are you? When are we doing the thing? Oh, we don't know yet right now. Yeah,
I mean, whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
It's been a long 3 weeks. I guess we can chat about that for a second. So, I've been in like negotiations for 3 weeks, which is what's new. I'm always in negotiations, but when they get real deep, I'm like, I have removed myself from the social media world, and I've hardly posted. But you know, I've said in the past, when I don't post, it's usually because like some good stuff's going on behind the scenes, and there's definitely been some good stuff going on behind the scenes, and I'm finally coming back to my body most recently. But yeah, I've been tired because it's been a long month or two for sure. I feel like I'm still not completely rested, you know?
Yeah.
Like
true.
It takes brain cells and like, woo.
It's true. Well, and it's kind of like flying by the seat of your pants in an organized way. It's kind of like the best way to encapsulate the whole thing, you know?
Yeah, you're on call like 24/7 basically for answering questions and whatnot, and you're just like, ugh, my brain hurts.
Oh, where am I?
Oh, well, and then you like get off your like routine. We were both off of our routine because you were helping me with it, and so like I'm like, today's the first day I was finally able to exercise in like 3 weeks, so I feel really like out of, you know what I mean? Like, whoa. And I hate that because like I live by my routine, don't you?
It's true. And then like I feel when you get back into it, you're like, oh wow, why wasn't I on this routine train for a while? Because it just feels so good, you know?
Yeah, but when you're doing the negotiations and whatever, we're like dead. We're like half alive. You know,
so
like
true.
It is like there were days Kat and I are both calling each other like, "Are you okay, bitch?" No, I'm not.
Sometimes I love it when we're in that mode together, because sometimes we're just on the phone for 3 hours and we just don't say anything. We're just there for moral support because there's an unspoken understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, there was a few days we were like on the phone like with each other on TikTok, not even saying anything. We're just like, "Are you okay? You there?" Yep. Just scrolling through social media. Yeah. The trauma, man. So yeah, it's been a good 3 weeks, but tired. How do you feel? Are you rested up now?
Yes. I mean, I've been on Vegas time for 3 years, living in New Hampshire, so I feel like I'm just always gonna be messed up, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's true. Kat like texted me the other night. It was like midnight her time, and I was like, what are you doing?"
I don't know. Just up.
She's like, "I'm wide awake," and I'm like, "But we're not working this time of night." She's like, "I don't know, I'm just awake." So
it's 9 p.m.
When did you get in? So okay, vampires was a thing because I don't know. I've just always been into vampires. Have you?
Yeah. Twilight, all that good stuff.
What was your like first thing that like you remember of like vampire stuff that you were into? Was it just because of Halloween, or was there like a specific movie?
It was Halloween, and Nosferatu was a movie that we watched a lot at home when I was a kid, so that's kind of what got me into it. I was very fascinated as a kid, apparently, by Nosferatu's hands.
Is that an opera?
Fingers.
What is that?
No, he's the vampire. It's an old black and white movie.
Oh, is that the one where he comes up out of like he did like the levitation thing out of the grave? Okay.
Yeah, old school black and white movie.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Isn't that horrible?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, his nails are like freakishly long, and I just had a weird obsession with them when I was younger. I was like, I don't understand.
But I like it.
Oh. You're just so like, I'm just like looking at them.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't know. Well, I mean, I think Elvira always embodied kind of like the vampiress sort of image, and like my aunt was really into her when I was like itty bitty, like 3 and 5 years old. So I remember seeing her on TV. But then as you get older, I think what I wasn't supposed to watch Interview with the Vampire with Brad Pitt. And I was like, I think I was in my teens, and my mom was like, "Don't you dare watch that." And I was like with a friend's house, and it felt so like forbidden. We weren't supposed to watch it, but I was like, "Whoa, vampires are like a thing." But then you like go forward and you like talk about real life vampires, like Vlad aside, like when Ghost Adventures had the one dude, Father Sebastian, with his consort on there, that's just like a little too far for me. You know what I'm saying?
That was a little freaky.
Well, it is. I don't like, of course, like that's the feminist thing in me coming in of like, I don't like the whole woman being like his meal. I think that's offensive. Well, yeah.
Those roads.
Yeah, it's like she's still, walking a couple steps behind the man, and I'm like, no, I'm not. No one's gonna consort me. I'm not gonna take that title. I'm not anybody's meal. And I hope that y'all had like HIV tests just to make sure, because I'm not sure if consuming human fluids like that is like the safest thing to do. So I think that's a little far. You know what I mean? Like there's a line, and that was the line.
There's a whole vampire community in Salem.
Like do they actually, like, the thing? Like, they do the thing?
I mean, no, I guess no one really knows, but they do, like, where they have the fangs and everything. Some of them actually get them surgically done, where they'll get them, like, pointed and, like,
Okay,
surgically.
I've gotten fit for, like, the fangs, but they're the kind that, like, go in and out. You know, like, you take...
Yeah.
Why would you want to walk
Do it
around
there.
with that?
If
Just...
they're-
I know. A lot of people do
Yeah.
that. I don't... Okay, cool.
Messed up.
I mean, but why? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, but yeah, I think... Go ahead.
There's a shop in Salem called Vamp Fangs, and it's literally that.
So what, like, you
Like,
go
it's
in and get
literally
fit for the
custom.
fangs?
Yeah, like it's custom, like fangs, but they also sell like merch. So they sell like black masks with like vamp fangs on them and stuff, and it's like cute.
Okay, I would wear a mask. I would wear a vampire mask. I would not have fangs. Like, that just feels uncomfortable and just unnecessary. You know what I mean?
Wrong. It's just wrong.
I have seen people. I have an older cousin, and I'm not gonna say his name or he'll kill me. But when he was younger, like, I think in his like 20s, he got into like the vampire culture thing, and he was wearing like temporary fit fang things, and I was like, why? But whatever, you know. And I remember they would do like rituals, and they would like, it's just too far. It's too
Like,
far.
about it, I'm like, ooh.
Well, that'd be cool for like Halloween, like you know, like, but whatever
Yeah.
floats your boat, I guess. I don't know, as long as you're not hurting anybody.
Don't be eating people, okay?
Jesus, cats. Cat's like, I'm just gonna say it, okay?
Do like the blunt disclaimer: don't bite people. Biting people's wrong.
But
We don't
look,
bite
if they're into that thing, go for it. As long as there is mutual, like, you know,
people. There needs to be
agreement.
consent.
Yeah.
Okay, there needs to be an NDA and then consent, okay?
Oh
or
my-
consent and then an NDA. You know?
Oh, I need to sign an NDA first.
God,
I'm
messed
dead.
up. Messed up.
It is, but like, it is cool though, the vampire. I am into the vampire culture thing. In fact, like, another like side note is like, I play World of Warcraft, and there's a new section that's in WoW that's like all vampire coven stuff, and I joined it with my pally, and it's really cool. It's like underground tombs and stuff like that. So going into like Vlad and stuff, but okay, back up. Where did I really get into vampires? So I saw, like, my first real movie was probably Interview with the Vamp, like, really, vampire culture. But like, I was obsessed with Twilight for sure.
Yeah.
I got the books first before the movies came out, and I can't remember. I think I was in my like early 20s or like late teens when the books came out. So I was like prime age for that. Like, that was my generation, okay? And I got the first book. I remember my friends getting the first book, and I was like, that's a big ass book. You know what I mean? Like,
Make that merch. That's a big ass book.
and they were like carrying this book around because they were so obsessed with it, they couldn't put it down. And they were like, you have to buy it. And it was like, literally, it's like a 4-inch book. Like, Jesus, I don't know, you know? And so I finally broke down, and I got the first one, and I was like obsessed with it. Obsessed. And then like, I literally read the first book in like 2 days. It was crazy. And then I went and got the next book, and it was gone in 2 days, like, literally. So I was obsessed. And I was not Team Jacob, probably because I'm Native American. I mean, like, he's hot or whatever, but I was definitely Team... What were you?
I was Jacob. Okay,
Of course you were, Kat. Okay, of course.
I don't know why. Okay, Beauty and the Beast, love the Beast.
Oh,
Okay, I just
jeez.
love the Beast.
Oh, my
Okay,
God.
that's not a hint at anything. I'm just saying.
That's right. All right,
Another
no,
disclaimer.
yeah, no jokes about, animal loving, okay? But, like, okay, someone said Queen of the Damned with Aaliyah. That was really good, too. Yeah, that
so
was good.
good.
It's a shame she passed. But, so, yeah, then the films came out, and I was obsessed with the films. I went every single time at midnight. I was that person. I was that person waiting in line, And I was that person that like had all the Team Edward shit on. Like, yeah, that was me. I was that girl. I was like, and it's crazy because like I remember going and there's like literally like 100 people in line waiting for the movies, and
Yeah.
I was like one of the few that was Team Edward. Like literally everybody was Team Jacob.
Holla.
So we would have had like a rivalry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although
Hey,
Bella was a little bit, got on my nerves a little bit sometimes. So
I
sometimes
mean, yeah.
sometimes I wanted to slap her and be like, grow a pair, okay? Get a backbone, all right, ho? Like you're gonna be fine. Yeah, pretty much. So let's go on to Vlad. You did a lot of this research with Elfie, actually. So first of all, when Vlad took place in Transylvania, which is obviously Romania, I'm scared to go to Romania. Like this is one of my like bucket list locations, for sure. But like I've said this before, Romania is known for having a lot of loose dogs on the road.
Yeah.
And I'm scared to death. I'm gonna like fly home with like 30 stray dogs. Because I probably would have to figure it out. I'd be like, I have to adopt every single dog in this country, and they're all going back to Vegas with me. You know what I mean?
All of them at once. It's fine. Just put them in the carry-on.
It's true. Like, there's a couple of countries that like scare me because that's what I would do. Like, I think Vietnam too. They have a lot of strays. Oh my god. Or else I'd have to go like donate like $30,000 just to take this money and rescue all the dogs. Okay, like just get them off the street.
Put them on a chopper, okay? Send them to here's my address.
Here's my address. Send them over to Vegas. We're good to go. I've got a farm. I really don't have a farm.
Yeah.
Okay, let's chat about Vlad. So, okay. I mean, I want to get into stats and deets, but like, he was kind of like a messed up person.
He was.
Like, I mean, mental health maybe? What do you think it was?
I think it was a mix of that and being betrayed is my take on it as well, which is not an excuse to be,
violent,
impaling people. Okay, this
right.
is not an excuse. But based off of what I've read, my theory would be that it was because he was betrayed and that made him just spiral out of control.
Right.
And I think it was also a means of maintaining power because his father couldn't. So that's my take on it.
I don't know, man. He did some weird stuff. So I didn't really know, like, the super history of this. Also, like, before we get any further, obviously, yeah, like, Dracula was inspired by Vlad. It was, like, back in, like, the 1600s or, like, 1700s, some author was, like, looking into different lore, trying to get inspiration. I can't remember his name. Who wrote the first book on vampires?
That's a good question.
Well,
there's a few of them that came out at the same time.
Well, it's the oldest one. It's from like the 16, 1700, whatever. Anyway, what he did was he went into the history books, found the story of Vlad, the Impaler, and then turned that into Dracula, which is like super interesting because that's how writers get inspired, is by like real life events.
It's true.
But Vlad was dark, man. Like he had some issues. He had some serious, I mean, and he went through some shit. So, okay, give it to him.
It's true. It always comes from something. Yeah, it's kind of like when we talk about serial killers as well. About their childhood. They all had very similar childhood.
I have way too much shit on my desk today, man. I'm like literally, first of all, I have 4 drinks on my desk, which is, I'm that person. I have like a Sprite, a water, and a coffee. I've got issues, man. Jesus Lord. Okay, so you do a little blurb on what you think about Vlad here and like all his stuff. 1431 was a minute ago. Died in Romania.
Yeah, so he was born in Transylvania in 1431 and died in Romania in 1476.
So let's see, he was like what, 50, 60 years old, somewhere in there?
Around that time, yeah. He's known as Vlad the Third. His father is Vlad II. And Vlad the Third, Dracula, was the son of the dragon, and they were really careful in articles to make sure that you didn't mix that up with Vlad II, which was the dragon, I think it is. And
so I didn't know that part at all.
You didn't? Yeah. And I
was
found
that was that their name, or was it like of a clan? Like, do you know what it was from?
like Dracul?
Yeah, like son of
Dracula?
Dracul, son of dragon. Like, cause,
Yeah, it's a Latin word because Draco translates to dragon. And they also had that as a part of his induction into the Order of the Dragon, the father, which kind of just like took over the whole name of all of the sons. And the Order of the Dragon in itself was created by the Holy Roman Emperor in order to be like a defense against the Ottoman Empire, which was the Turks. Those were the ones that were trying to take over the castle, Dracula's castle, Vlad's castle, and his family for generations. It was a constant battle. And it's really interesting too, because you think of like dragons, right, with wings, and he literally embodies like what you see in the movies of, you know, a bat or a big, you know, dragon-like character that comes to life. So they probably took the bat part because of the blood-sucking thing, whatever. But probably, I think it would almost be cooler to take on the dragon image too. Yeah, I think they did a movie with that. But they had the dragon on his armor. I can't remember the name of it, though. I think it was just called Dracula or something.
It's amazing how much this has influenced pop culture, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's huge.
I mean, this one person, which she did some crazy stuff, obviously, but it's literally vampires are all, I think, stemmed from him, from this.
I agree. And a lot of it, too, from what I was gathering, in some articles they were saying like they could smell whatever, like what was going on and like all the deaths and all the bodies. But there was also another theory that there weren't any deaths and that a priest was actually spreading the rumor that he was killing people in secret. And you know, so there's always that two sides to every story when it comes to historic
and let's see, what are we looking at? 1431 era. I mean, obviously he was a child at that time, so 1476 still, that's when he died. Anywhere in between then, I highly doubt the best of records were being kept. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a time where it just wasn't a thing. And they were probably more concerned with, like you said, holding their land and not being invaded, essentially.
Oh, yeah, and it was constant. So the Ottoman Empire ended up taking over Constantinople in the middle of Vlad's reign. So this is after his father died. And at that point, once they took over Constantinople, like that was huge. I mean, they could have taken over anything at that point. So, you know, defenses were raised and the battle just got worse. It just got worse. The Ottomans just took over everything. And that's why they're so famous.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's wild journey for sure. I can't imagine living in that time and it being that bloody and like scary and always having to be
on defense. Yeah, like you'd have to hire people to like be security and like protect your stuff. Now the second part of this story I didn't realize, which was you found out that him and Vlad and his younger brother, they were sent to live with the Turks, right, essentially, and like it was as like collateral from their father, right?
Yeah, so they were sent to the court of the Ottoman Sultan, essentially as collateral to assure the Sultan that their father would support the Ottomans' policies, because there were factions within, you know, Ottoman history that were trying to essentially form a peace treaty, because it was claimed that the Ottomans didn't want the bloodshed that had been happening. So there were some talk and, you know, movements in regards to a peace treaty. So that was going to be part of the movement of the peace treaty was Vlad's father, which is Vlad II, giving his youngest and then middle child to the Sultan as collateral, and they were there for like years.
Thank you for the cheers, guys. Thank you. Okay, but like, what father would just be like, you know what? I'm gonna send my two sons away to a sultan somewhere else. Like, who? Like, I mean, I know times were different, but like, clearly, if the father was the one running it with this sort of castle on a hill, if you will, they had money and power. So why was it, if you're going to send why would you send your children away? I mean, I get why, obviously, but it's just, I don't understand why you would use your own children. Like, wouldn't you be afraid that they would get murdered or something? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's hard to tell, I think, with war stories like that, because essentially what it ended up looking like going further down the story, the Ottomans ended up turning on the father and killing him.
Right.
So I almost wonder if maybe there might have been something in the back of Vlad II's head that was saying, if I can have my kids survive, take me, I will leave them in your care if you, uphold your promise and then do with me what you will type of scenario. Because it was not much longer after they were dropped off. I think it was like 4 years after or something, that the dad ended up becoming like slaughtered. And the older brother as well was brutally used, blinded, buried alive, and tortured before that.
I just I'm so confused why, like, okay, Vlad has issues, obviously, like, he the reason he really ends up, which I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit. He gets angry, ends up murdering a bunch of the Turks, obviously, on his own ground, okay? Fine. Mm-hmm. But, like, he had to have been so messed up in his head. His own father sent him and his brother away. There had to be some sort of resentment against his parents for what happened. I'm just thinking about, like, childhood trauma. Then he's raised with these people, which, once again, I don't want to jump ahead. But then he returns home eventually and finds out his brother and father have been slaughtered by the people who raised him. He never got answers then from his dad. Like, what a mind F. You know what I mean? Like,
it's true. And I'm sure there was some confusion being so young and going into enemy territory. Mm-hmm. Like, if all you knew and were witnessing with your father and your family being murdered was the Ottomans killing you or your family, obviously there would be some form of resentment, like, what did I do wrong to have you send me into enemies' hands? And then the dad just pieces out, so it's true. It's very true. There's probably some messed up daddy issues that were obviously not able to be addressed because he found out he died.
It's almost like that, all of that, like, between being raised by these people and then his father leaving him, then his father being slaughtered, which, it's interesting, how did he end up obtaining the castle back again? You know what I mean? Which doesn't matter. I mean, there's going to be holes in the story because it's so old. But, like, my God, the trauma. My God. Like, you don't even... And mental health was definitely probably not a discussion at this point.
Oh, no.
So he had to have been so messed up from trauma. Like, this is that thing that I've preached and talked about even in my book, which is, like, man, childhood trauma can literally rewire your brain. Like, actually. Yeah. And, like, if you don't have the capabilities of being able to un-F yourself, like, you're going to put a bunch of heads on a stake in front of your house. You know what I'm saying?
It's true. And I think it also depends on the emotion that you're dealing with as well when you're having that type of mental health crises. Because, using Vlad as an example, he was, like, blinded by rage. Mm-hmm. He didn't give up. He did not care. Mm-mm. And that was very apparent because his morals were just completely out the window. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was just killing everybody right and left. And in his brain, I think that was his safe space, saying that was almost like avenging his father, but he was, letting out that rage and killing people because of what his father did to him and left him, you know? So it's a mixed bag, and that's what makes it really twisted and sick. Mm-hmm. For sure.
I know. It's really hard to wrap your brain around because you're just like, I'm not saying it's okay what he did or what they did. I'm just saying you kind of can understand where he comes from when he essentially goes ballistic because he, so now the people that have raised him, that his father sent him away to, have been the ones that have now completely brutally slaughtered his family. And now he's angry with those people. So he probably feels like everybody essentially has turned his back on him.
Oh, yeah. And he was pretty much the only one left. And, I think the twisted thing about it, when we're talking about, like, being raised by the Ottomans for a certain aspect of his life, he was literally taught science, tutored in philosophy.
Highly intelligent,
became a very skilled horseman and warrior, and it's just very telling when the enemy is teaching you how to be a warrior and he trumps them all and then ends up murdering them literally with the skills that they taught him. And maybe he was naturally gifted, who knows, but I can't imagine what that must feel like to have finally been released, told that your father and your older brother the year prior to being released were brutally murdered. And you're left there being like, what the hell is going on?
But what's the point of the Ottomans taking him and his brother in? educating them, training them as like actual warriors when they know they've murdered his family, and then what was the point of that?
I don't
Then
know.
they released him. What was the, you know what I mean? Like, why? Like, was
Yeah.
it to purposely, like, why would you put that much time and effort in, like, educating and, like, informing this person
That's
and
true.
creating a little warrior, and then you release him to be like, oh, by the way, we murdered your family? Was it for, like, mental torment?
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard because it's, you know, there are holes in it. There's holes in the story, and it makes you wonder if it was the people that took him in, or if it was a different faction, if the dad was somewhere else in a different, you know.
Well, obviously, I think we can say his dad or father was involved in some, like, sketchy shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I doubt that it was just with the Ottomans, in my opinion. Like, he probably had some sketchy shit going on with other clans, and who knows, right?
Probably. But, yeah, it's just, it's sick. It's sick. The whole thing is sick and twisted, because it's true. Like, why would you waste 6 or 7 years or 8 years, I think it was, you know, taking these people in when you're just murdering their family behind their back? I don't understand.
And his dad was killed, so, like, Vlad II was killed in a swamp?
Yeah, he was killed in a swamp.
What a way to go.
Yeah.
But if he was so powerful, too, how did he end up getting in the hands of them?
I don't know. I almost think, based just like thinking about old war stories and things like that, that he thought maybe he could win over a certain group to help fight with him, and they ended up turning on him or whatever, you know, and he became a target and easy prey for the enemy. So, but it's hard to tell because, again, of the holes. So that's when you have to put into play your own kind of story as to what you think might have happened.
Well, and you
know?
have to look at, obviously, this huge castle is, like, ginormous. It's still standing today. To be in, the 1400s, whenever it was built, how much money that took? Which, with money, or a lot of money, takes a lot of power, takes a lot of skill, takes a lot of, unfortunately, we know with money and people, even in this day and age, people with money are people with power, and they like to take advantage of others. And they like to do sketchy shit. So again, how did he obtain that home? How did he obtain the money and the skills he had? But he must have known instinctively, like, almost like to send his children away. And if he didn't, they may have been murdered as well.
That's what I'm thinking. That is what I'm thinking. Because that would really be the only rational, you know, move to make in that situation.
Why else would you just send? He had other children. The other son was
four kids,
and the 2 survived, and that was it. So it's like, it's weird. It's like he knew. Like, why else would you just send your kids away? And especially to the enemy. Why did he trust the enemy, thinking like they weren't going to just take the kids and murder them?
That's true.
The whole thing is strange. I mean, once again, this is cultural differences. We're talking, you know, over 100 years ago. Or no, I mean, obviously, a few hundred years ago.
Yeah.
But who knows what was going on and why they did it and why they did things the way they did then, you know?
It's true. And there was even another story or theory because when he entered the space of the Sultan, those, like, 8 years disappeared. I could not find anything as to what happened. There were no letters. There was nothing you could find about what happened. So there was a second theory that, according to some accounts, that Vlad may have been in prison and tortured during that time.
Like as a child.
Like when he was put in the Sultan's care. And that he witnessed other people being impaled by the Ottomans. And that's and that would make more sense. I guess that would be the more, like, logical answer that would make sense. But I don't know, like, I feel like the other aspect of him being tutored and taken, you know, under these people's wings and then being let go and told, you're fucked, like, your whole family, like, literally, it's true. Like, I mean, that's so sick. I feel like that's more sick than someone being tortured.
Well, that's what I mean. Was it like a purposeful mental torment? Because it sounds like it was.
Yeah.
So, like, the Ottomans were some smart, conniving people, in other words. And unfortunately, they ended up dying at the hands of someone that he learned it from them, essentially, Vlad the Third, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't want to skip over too much because we have a bunch of stuff in here. So he ended up released. Obviously, he found out his dad and brothers were obviously horribly murdered. And then this was at some point what like triggered his trauma. And then he returns back, and then he becomes the new ruler, essentially.
Yeah. So I guess that would kind of fill in the gap, but there's still no full story
right.
as to how he regained his seat.
Lots of holes.
Yeah, like he did a campaign to regain his father's seat from the new ruler that was there. And Vlad actually ended up getting his revenge and cut the head off of the person that was like watching him while he was in captivity. And it was this whole like drawn out.
See, now that to me sounds like there was some sort of trauma that was going on. It wasn't just like he was being tortured probably. But once again, was he quote released or did he escape?
That's true.
You know, like I just feel like there's holes here, and we're never gonna know. Once again, it's like up to you to put the puzzle pieces together and believe what you will and what you won't. But like, why would you have a child and obviously he's seen some shit. How else did he learn this stuff?
That's true.
And then was he released, or did he just tell everyone he was released so that they didn't like return him back or something? You know, was his brother released with him?
There is no account of it.
See?
Which is why I think you're correct in him escaping. Mm-hmm. Because he was the only one left.
Interesting.
And he did several attempts to try to kill those people. 1456, I think, was the next one, because he was released in 1448, I believe. Or escaped, however, you know, the interpretation is.
See, and this is the crazy part to me, though, is that you have, like, Vlad the Impaler, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, he did messed up stuff. He killed, like, an entire, like, you know, war, like, what would you call it? A military, I guess, essentially. You could call it, like, But it's never told that there's, like, a serious story behind it. Like, he had some serious revenge to take out on these people. If he was kidnapped, if he was tortured, if he had to escape, they brutally murdered his family. They were also murdering people in the town that he was from, too, as well.
Oh, yeah. Townspeople, merchants. And the most messed up thing, and this is me jumping a little bit ahead, is he would write letters of killing those people. Mm-hmm. Like, he was proud to say, at the end of it all, that he killed, like, over 20,000 people.
No, that was Vlad, though, right?
Yeah, that was Vlad.
Yeah.
That was Vlad. Messed up.
Well, you know, he had some trauma, you know? Like, back in the day, there wasn't laws, and he was the law, and he just kind of took it in his own hands, you know what I'm saying?
It's the law, you know? Like,
it's true. But it's sad, because you do think of, like, once again, money and power, which his family obviously stood on. Mm-hmm. What would you do in that case? You know, if your family was brutally murdered? Like, go back to his other brother's murder. He was, like, blinded and buried alive, isn't that right?
Tortured, blinded, and buried alive. Yep.
That's a rough death, man.
I think what was really interesting too, which really piques my interest, is the cunning that this man had, that Vlad had. He was really, like, he knew what to say to entice people to come to him, even the enemy. He had Ottomans coming over his castle constantly, in, like, large groups, which makes you think about Dracula, about how he can, you know, put a spell on you and make you, like, not be able to move and, you know, entice you to come in or invite him in. It's kind of like that same story when it comes to Dracula, you know, and how they use that, because his first instance to, like, consolidate his power in, you know, the castle was he invited about 100 of Ottomans to his place, and knowing that he would be challenged because he just enjoyed killing people, he had all of them stabbed, like, as soon as they arrived, and then impaled them while they were, like, still alive. That was, like, his first account.
He just doesn't care. He just, like, doesn't care.
Nope. He'll entice them, send a good letter. He wrote lots of letters. That was all over.
He likes to write, you know?
Just like, hey, why you come over with some tea? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be great. And then stab.
Yeah.
You just come in and just stab.
Stabby stab.
Yeah, stabby stab stab. And it was gross too, because they had another instance too where a group of Ottomans came to his castle, which I feel like if you're seeing groups of Ottomans go in and not come out, why would you continue to go? I feel like you just stop now, like just take the hint.
Hey, have you seen Sam? No, he didn't come back last week. Okay, maybe there's a red flag here, you know?
This other group of Ottomans came in, and Vlad asked them to take off their turbans, and they refused to take off their turbans, and he was like, oh, okay, well, if you don't want to take them off, then you can forever. And he nailed the turbans to the Ottomans' heads. So he was like sick and twisted, torture, gross.
And then, while they were impaled, they were still alive, as we know it. It's a very slow, painful, could take days, could take weeks.
Ugh.
I know. I can't wait to talk about the impaling part, because that's horrific.
I never edited that note either. So
I read through it and I was like, "Oh, that's good, Kat. That was really good." I don't know how I'm gonna have to put this very politely without using, certain
lower extremities. Okay, we'll just say lower extremities.
God. So what is impaling? I'm gonna be honest and tell you that I didn't know that they would use the butthole. I mean, it's just like, I'm just being honest. Like, I would assume that that's an entrance, but like, I just didn't know that was what would be particularly used. You know what I mean? Like, wow.
Well, it's funny because, well, it's not funny. I shouldn't say it's funny.
It's funny. I'm
funny.
sorry.
Impaling people is not funny, folks.
Jesus
but I was actually shocked that they used, it was like a rounded tip.
Are you getting that specific right now?
I didn't mean to like say it like weird, but I'm just saying, like, you think of like steaks, and like, like being impaled, like I always thought that they were just like sharp sticks, like you would kill like a vampire with. You know what I mean?
I can't believe we're having
so when
this
I read
conversation.
it, I was like, no.
I'm sorry. I can't.
We're gonna go all in, okay? It's great.
Okay, well, we're gonna get specific here. So if you're squeamish,
you don't have to say the next one, okay? It's fine.
I'm sorry, I just can't stop. Whew. Okay, I'm crying. Literally, I'm gonna mess up my vampire makeup. Okay, whew. This is what happens when we're on set. Like sometimes you just can't take things serious because it's just like, who thinks of this shit, man? Like, who sits around and they're like, you know what kind of object should we use? Should it be pointed, round, or square? Like, literally, like, what about a triangle?
Yeah. Let's do an octagon, actually. You know what's really interesting and that's funny is
it's sick that we find humor in this. I'm so sorry, everybody.
It's not funny. We're just, I don't know.
Oh, God.
Maybe it's awkward, and that's why we're laughing.
Elfie just said it takes longer and does less damage as it works its way up. Oh, God. I need a Kleenex. I literally I'm crying right now. Like, oh my God, I'm not going to get through this stream. Oh my God.
I love the comment that someone left that we were going off to dinner.
In the middle of the conversation. Oh my God.
Fine.
I'm surprised that we have a YouTube channel after this. Jesus.
I'm trying not to.
Oh God, I can't see. It got like mascara in my eye. Okay. No, but seriously, I do think it, like, I want to say it's important to talk about, but like, I feel like it is. Because I'm dead serious when I was reading through the notes, because Elfie, like, loves her research too, like, she's like, bam. Like, I really didn't know they went through the booty hole. Honest to God, I know that sounds stupid, but like, I don't know. I don't know. If you're impaling, does it really matter if you go through the butthole or not? Honest to God, it doesn't matter.
Why do you want a small field of like writhing bodies on a rounded pole? Okay, I just feel like that's really dark.
God, Jesus
Just
Lord.
saying. Elfie said they want them alive for as long as possible. That's messed up.
Would it go all the way through the head or just like center body? You know what I mean?
It would exit. I'm just gonna read verbatim the notes, y'all. So if you're squeamish, this is your disclaimer. The exit wound is how the notes were written.
Ew,
could be near the victim's neck, shoulders, or mouth.
Damn, that's some force, man. Like, that's some Ed Gein shit right there. You know what I mean?
It's not funny. It's not funny. It's
That's
fine.
messed up. Like, that would take more than one person, wouldn't it?
I mean, I would think so.
But it says, okay, it says entrance would go through the booty hole or the vajayjay. But so they would send women in there too? I don't understand. That doesn't sound right. Like,
yeah, men and women. Merchants, townspeople.
Back then, women wouldn't be... Okay, merchants and townspeople, okay? Because I would say back then, I don't think women would really be allowed to be, in the militia or whatever, right?
Yeah. He would go into the town and pick them out.
Elfie's going into some deets here. I just don't know if I can handle it.
A little bit.
She says, didn't even get in the angle of how it's stacked. It's placed in the ground. You want it to be in an angle for gravity to take, and it would take days.
Oh, so they just kind of like slowly.
Ew.
Okay, well,
That's just God, Elfie. Thank you so much for your.
Thank you for the visual. That answered that question.
So in some cases, the pole was rounded, not sharp, to avoid damaging organs, so that there would be prolonged suffering. Wow, that's dark shit, man. Some dark shit. The pole was vertically raised to display the victim's torment. It could take days, hours, or even weeks for the person to die. Wow, man, that's just...
That was a rough paragraph.
That was literally a paragraph, and I feel like it took a year to get through that thing. You know what I mean?
I'm like hot.
Jesus.
I'm empathing. I feel like I'm empathing.
I know. What do you think would happen if we went there and like investigated?
Let's do it.
No, I mean like empathing it. I don't know how I'd feel.
I know, it'd just be uncomfortable. It'd just be very uncomfortable.
I don't know, man. I'd be like, this is just messed up. This is a whole nother level of messed up. You know what I mean?
Very dark person.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move forward for a minute because I'm just having a moment because that was rough. Talking about the boots and all that.
Elfie said, "Sorry, I know way too much about this."
We love you, Elfie, for that. We love that you.
So much.
Yeah, she nerds out on our research and we love it. Okay, Vlad's death.
So, here it says, not long after the impalement of the Ottoman prisoners, in August 1462, Vlad was forced into exile in Hungary, unable to defeat his much more powerful adversary. So he ended up getting the boot.
So he got in trouble because they were like, well, that's scary to any culture, right? I mean, they're looking at this guy like, news spreads fast across the land of like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like, this guy is dangerous. We need to like get in control of him because if he's able to take this whole sort of like clan out or culture, whatever you want to call it back then, militia, what could he do to the rest of us? So I'm sure that there was like some major fear going on, not just in like Romania. Well, I'm sure that in Romania I don't think he was killing his own people, so they probably felt fine.
Right.
But
when merchants involved, no matter what side, I mean, I would be concerned too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you just don't. Well, even women, not that I'm playing the women card, but I always play the women card. But like, what? Why are you? I don't get it. Once again, he should have gone for the person or persons responsible for his death. I don't know why he went on this killing spree. Give me the number again that he murdered.
He wrote in his letter, it was 23, he wrote, we killed 23,884 Turks.
Wait, say that again slower. 23,000.
23,884 Turks.
That's a lot of bodies, man. That's a lot of bodies.
And he said, without counting those whom we burned in homes, or the Turks whose heads were cut by our soldiers. Then he wrote, Thus, your highness, you must know that I've broken the peace.
But it's true, if the townspeople were talking about like the smell of death, can you imagine if they're just dead bodies all over the place? And how, like, what do you do with that many, what do you do with it?
I don't even know.
You'd have to make like a mass grave, but it would still be stanky.
Burn them.
I mean, I've seen enough, true crime documentaries that it's just like one is bad enough. times 20,000, that probably made all of Romania. Don't you think that that makes like a permanent stain on the whole country?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know what I mean? With that many people being murdered on the land, like, it makes you wonder if there's just like this permanent like ectoplasm stain that just causes strange trauma throughout the whole country. Because that's a lot of people, and that doesn't just like go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. I'm curious, the haunts that are there.
Oh, I bet you like the whole freaking country is haunted with that. Because you're not only adding the 23,000 people, but imagine the people living in the country have absolute fear on him. They're scared of him and afraid of him. So now that's also creating energy.
Oof.
You know what I
Probably
mean?
like one.
It is. It's all like amplified, almost like I think that kind of energy is what creates like portals and like weird stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Dark.
somebody save the dogs. Damn it. That's all I care about is the dogs.
I don't know why I thought about this, but there is a Van Helsing movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's
I've
a
seen
ton
that.
of Van Helsing movies,
Mm-hmm.
but there's one in particular with Hugh Jackman that is actually extremely accurate to what Transylvania would have looked like during Vlad's reign. And it did, like, they had like animals running around and townsfolk just being really riddled with fear and things like that. That's a really good movie to watch.
I've seen all of those are good. I've also seen Dark Shadows with Johnny Depp is hilarious. It's one of my faves.
Oh, love it.
But I like the comical stuff, especially after we just talked about, impaling booty holes. All right, carrying on to the next.
Krystal, oh my god.
Oh wait, Elfie said that if you really are interested in the Vlad stuff, check out the Inquisition torture or you will squirm. I think I'll pass on that, Elfie, but I'll let people make the decision if that's what they want to watch.
Eat some popcorn, watch Inquisition torture, you know what I'm saying?
It's weird though because I do that with true crime docs, don't you? Like I'll be like, oh, it's like 10 o'clock at night, I should go to sleep, or I should like watch something to help me go to bed, and then I turn on some massacre documentary and I'm sitting there eating popcorn and I'm just like, this is great,
I don't know. Just in the background, you're just like, oh, nice.
Okay, so let's keep going here. So he went into exile. He was in prison essentially for a long time, and then he ended up marrying somebody. Who would hell would marry him after that?
Yeah, that was messed up.
What's wrong with
That's
you,
gross.
girl? I need to have a talk with you.
It's nasty.
What are you thinking, boo? You think I mean, I hate to say it, but I feel like with this kind of trauma that he did with 20,000 strangers, he was probably into domestic violence and stuff.
And he had 2 kids.
Yeah, I bet he was abusive. You know what I mean? Like anybody that's like that does dark stuff like that's got to be into like domestic violence and abuse. That's just crazy.
Nasty.
Who knows? There's really not a lot on like the wife or the kids either. It's almost like they didn't want to be known for like, imagine like you do like your ancestry DNA and you're like, oh, my 8th generation grandpa is Vlad the Impaler. Like, I don't think everybody wants to go around like bragging about that. You know what I mean?
No, that's some generational trauma. You gotta freaking
Yeah.
break that. Jeez.
Okay, so 1746. Vlad made one more effort to try to get his seat as as the ruler. The same ruler, or is this a different area?
Different. It's all different.
Okay, and then
he chopped the head off of another one.
And he stole the reign from this person, but it was like not long that he had that reign. Yeah. And then now he's going to battle again with the Ottomans. Yeah. So he cannot let this shit go.
He can't stop.
He's like wanting to like genocide, exterminate these people.
Yep.
Okay.
But it's kind of crazy though because that was his last one. He ended up being ambushed and murdered.
Jesus, thank God. Somebody stop this man. I'm exhausted, Vlad.
Did he get a statue? Because I'm just saying, that's some dark stuff right there.
I am exhausted. Your journey exhausted me. That was too much shit, okay?
Whew, gosh.
Okay, so supposedly he's in a tomb somewhere.
Yeah.
And this is in that church that's in Romania, right?
Yeah.
But
they
but
also
it's unconfirmed. It's not confirmed. It's like maybe he's there, maybe he's not.
They also think that he was buried in like a monastery church, and I really doubt that. I really doubt that.
Yeah, what priest is going to be like, yeah, bring him on in, you know?
He'd be damned.
The priest would be like, I don't want to go to hell, okay? Like, we can't bring him here.
That land is cursed if you bury him.
Jesus.
Just as bad. He had a rough life, okay?
But, like, even historians have done work with, like, you know, anthropology. And they're saying, yeah, it's questionable that he's actually where he is. No one really knows where he could be. Once again, it could be for a number of reasons. Maybe they didn't carry good records back then. Maybe his family didn't want people to know where he was buried because of the shit he did.
Yeah. I had even heard some claims that when he was murdered in battle, that they just left his body there and just brought the message back, and he was like, you know, he died at the field he was murdered on.
See, that would make sense to me. I don't know who would, like, you know what I mean? Like, especially if it was already a battle.
Yeah.
So then what happens? Like, okay, we killed the leader, the war's over, and everybody just go home. Everybody go home now. Like, it's like, what happens in those instances? Especially that was probably, like, on horses and shit, right? Like, it was, like, old school wars.
You do. You're just like, okay, well, that was it. We're done.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank God he's taken care of. Let's just, you know, we're done. Well, and even then there was probably more than him. And this is how my brain works, you know, like thinking of a battle. There's probably hundreds of people dead. How would you go through hundreds of bodies to try to find Vlad, the leader? Of course, he's the leader, so I'm sure some people may have done it. But, like, yeah, you know, I don't even, how far away were they? Would they have really wanted to trek back on horse or buggy or whatever they had with a dead body and, like, to get back? You know, who knows? I don't know. That sounds a little ridiculous to me. Not saying it couldn't happen, but especially after, like, the crimes that he's obviously been able to commit up until this point. I think that he's probably got most mass murderer on the planet at this point.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I don't know. That's a lot of people, man. You know what I mean? Like, whoa.
A lot of people. I mean, he was just broken. He's just a very broken man.
So, assumably, it says historians are assuming that his body was basically left at the battle. That's what because they can't really trace it. So maybe his family made a memorial where, like, the church was or something, or the monastery. You know what I mean? Maybe that, or maybe a building. Maybe they did something inside the castle. Like, who knows, right? Like, who knows? Not long ago, the castle in Romania was up for sale. I saw it pop up on my Facebook feed. It was like it was within the last 12 months. I think they were hurting because of, like, COVID, coronavirus, you know, all that. So I don't want to say that word in case it gets shadow banned on YouTube. We've had enough of that. We don't want to go backwards. And somebody did end up buying it.
Wow, I have to look into that.
But I don't know what it sold for. I wasn't gonna do, like, the coin distinguish of, like, American dollars. You know what I mean? So right. Bram Stoker, we want to talk about that too.
Yes.
So I'm gonna let you do this because you know more about it than I do.
Okay. So Abraham Bram Stoker was born in November in 1847 in Dublin, in Ireland. Which actually, that's pretty cool because they have a lot of, like, folklore there too. So him being just such a creative person.
We're both Irish too.
Yep.
Yep. I'm Irish and Scottish. Those are my biggest next to my Native American is Irish and Scottish.
Really? Oh yeah, you did tell me about Scottish. Yeah, my family, my great-grandmother was off the boats from Ireland. We were part of the Callahan clan. CORMIER.
See, I haven't traced anything yet on my Irish side, but I was a part of a crest from Germany, and my family's actually originally from Prussia, which is like old school, yeah. My maiden name was linked to Prussia, and it was I have a crest that I have.
Wow.
Yeah, and our family came over on the boats, so, like, my maiden name was, like, there's a ton of people with my maiden name on the East Coast because they came over on the boats from Prussia. But yeah, so that's cool about yours though, from Ireland. I'd love to go to Ireland and Scotland someday, especially, like, it's haunted, it's old.
I have a friend that lives in Scotland. He's like, it's haunted back over here, and they have all the original buildings, you know.
That's crazy. The pubs, oh my god, that'd be so fun.
Oh my gosh.
I'd be partying and wasted like the whole time. Like I
I
can't.
want to get a pint.
Literally, I can't investigate. I'm drunk. I have to stay here and like party with my people. You know what I mean? Like experience.
It's fine. It's just another day job, but don't
Right.
drink in Paranormal Cascade. Really don't.
No, I would not do that. No, I have done that before. It's dangerous.
So we live and learn, folks. Okay.
I've talked about it. I don't I've drank at the Stanley Hotel, and that was a huge mistake because I was like, I can see shit now. You know what I mean? Like I want my filter back. I don't want to see this shit. You know what I mean? Leprechauns and shit. Go ahead, carry on. Sorry.
Not the leprechauns. Those are scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ass things in them. Anyway, so Bram Stoker was known as the author of Dracula. So maybe, was that the author you were talking about earlier?
Yes. Yep.
Why?
Was it? Yeah. Okay. 1847. Why was I thought it was older than that? I don't know why.
No, I don't know. Yeah, 1847 is when he was born, and then he died in 1912.
But yeah, because I remember when he started doing the research on it, it was in London, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
When he was doing the research, he was like a creative author, and he was trying to find inspiration. He found out about Vlad, and he was in England when he found out. So yeah, why did I brain fart that? Anyway, carry on.
I did. It's fine.
You know what? It's the impaling, okay? Whew.
So bad.
It really messed me up today, man.
Oh, God. So Stoker was the manager of a really famous theater in his area and personal assistant to the owner and famous actor at that time, Sir Henry Irving. So one of the rumored inspirations of Dracula was Sir Irving. Viewed himself as a self-centered and charismatic character that wanted to like be in control of everything. So that kind of is what is said that Bram,
inspiration
Dracula over right, but then later finding out about Vlad. Stoker looked up to Irving in awe, with his mesmerizing figure. I mean, he was really famous.
God, 1897, the book Dracula comes out. I bet he had no idea that it was gonna and at the time people probably weren't really that into it, because that's the same with like Edgar Allan Poe and what's our other favorite one that did Cthulhu, what's his name, Lovecraft. They weren't popular at the time, and it took till like the 1900s inspiration, and like it was gonna create it's really part of our modern day culture now is all this Dracula stuff. It's everywhere.
Weird. Yeah. So Stoker's great nephew carried on the legacy of Dracula Stoker, what he wrote in 2009, actually, called Dracula the Undead. So that was his great nephew, based on handwritten notes
from Bram. Wow.
Yeah, and this is a sequel to Bram's 1897. That was the year. 1897 book of Dracula. And he has also released Bram's Lost Dublin Journal with the help of Dracula scholar Elizabeth Miller. So that's really cool. I'd love to look her up. And he toured and did lectures called Stoker on Stoker.
Is he still alive, I wonder? It's interesting. This is the great nephew. Well, yeah, if he's a great nephew, he's probably alive still.
I would assume so.
Really interesting.
I'll have to look it up. Yeah. But very cool.
God, who would have thunk just like getting inspiration to write something such a big deal?
It's true.
It's literally created, I feel like that alone created what vampire culture is today. Like when I say the line of the people that live that line, I feel like this is their inspiration, which is just interesting. It's really interesting.
It really is. It really is how it all ends up coming kind of full circle. For sure.
Transylvania. I just think that's such a cool name. Just, isn't it? I feel like that's that embodies just the idea of Gothic is Transylvania. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It says here too, on the bottom of what inspired Dracula, it was also claimed that Stoker had an interest in Irish folklore, which, I mean, duh. I mean, anyone would, I guess, right? Because that's what they grow up with. And the character of Dracula was based on a Celtic chieftain. who was buried in the town, and
Wow.
visit the grave today.
It's just so dark, man, what he did. Vlad, that is. This was something I found interesting. One of his little excerpts of what Vlad wrote. He wrote this to a military ally in 1462. I have killed peasants, men and women, old and young, where the Danube flows into the sea. I assume that's like the little river that was there. We killed 23,884 Turks, without counting those who burned in homes with, or the Turks' heads that were cut off by our soldiers. Thus, your highness, you must know that I have broken the peace. He was clearly educated.
Very smart. I'm telling you, like, he knew how to into his, even the enemy, you know, and much havoc as he did, for sure. Because I'm sure it seemed to a lot of people that he would have just lived forever. You know, it would just never end. So I can't even imagine what it must have felt like being in those times and hearing that he died.
Okay, so then we have to get to another dark spot, which is, this part did kind of gross me out, just because, like, you know, we had, like, the Church of Satan negotiation last week, and I pissed off some Satanists. Hey, girl, hey. And that's because I don't like humans being tortured. I don't like animals being tortured, especially animals and children, like, I'm a huge advocate for. But, like, really dark stuff, like, real-life dark stuff, like, I don't like. I mean, like, I'll watch, like, you know, true crime documentary, but, like, that's different between, like, this guy was just messed up, man. So one of he did was he would dip his so where did the vampire thing come from, right? Yes, he did consume the blood of his enemies. He dipped his bread in the blood of his victims, which was one thing. It's claimed he's also bathed in the blood of his victims at some point, right? And sometimes he would even just, like, go up to him while they were dying and, like, wipe the blood off and just lick his fingers in front of them, basically. What's Boo, you got some issues. You need some Jesus or something. You know what I mean?
2 alternatives to getting some help.
What did you say? Therapy, and I said Jesus?
Therapy. Yeah.
I think you need both, Vlad. Like, really. Like, I wonder what happened when he went home and, like, he's in front of judgment, whatever happens, and they're like, look, dude, you messed up really bad. Like, we need to fix you before you can ever reincarnate again. Like, you're really bad.
I wonder.
Could be.
That just got real dark real quick.
20s.
Wow.
So.
I mean, yeah, he was really dark. That was messed up.
I'm just saying, somebody needs a lot of Jesus here. I don't know. It makes you wonder what goes through the heads of these people that they're just they can wipe everybody out, man.
Nothing. I literally don't see anything there. It's gone. It's just fizzed out.
Pop culture. Oh my God. There's so much. Like, literally, just think about it.
1922 was Nosferatu. 1931, Dracula. Pre-code movie and first sound movie of Dracula. Starred Bela Lugosi.
Oh, this entry is Stoker, that's a mood. Stoker sued for copyright infringement since some of the films had started with the Dracula movie, so that's interesting. Wow. Yeah. One copy survived a mass destruction, and it was on its way to the U.S. for public domain from, like, the original copies. That's interesting.
Wow. Wow. The biggest change from the book to the movie was his destruction by sunlight. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the book of Dracula, he's just weakened by it, not destroyed by it. That's interesting.
Bela Lugosi, obviously, we know as one of the famous characters of Dracula. I was never into that one, though. I've watched that one, but I don't know why. I don't know. It just seemed more gentle compared to other ones.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I'm reading here he had to learn the lines phonetically because he didn't really know that much of English. Mm-hmm. So he was pretty much just typecast because he looked like Dracula.
Wow.
And he was kind of screwed for the rest of his career because they only just saw him as Dracula. Wow,
and Bela Lugosi's, when they did this, obviously 1931, Universal Studios paid $40,000 for the novel stage play.
Wow.
That's not a lot of money compared to day and age, you know what I mean?
Not at all. Wow. Yeah, he was on the stage play in Europe and Broadway and happened to be in LA in a touring company during the casting. Very interesting.
That is
yeah,
crazy.
So Vlad's messed up. The moral of this story is Vlad is one effed up dude.
And don't impale people.
And don't drink their blood, okay? Don't dip
Ew.
your bread in blood, okay? That's wrong.
I've had like IVs given to me, and like can you smell blood? I can.
No.
They say not everybody can, but I can, probably because I'm a vampire. It's fine, but not this kind. Okay, let's get that straight. But yeah, like when I get IVs, I can smell blood. I'm really weird. So that makes me sick. Like I can't. It's iron. I can't really explain how it smells. You just know it. And it's because when I was little, I was really sick, so I had a lot of IVs. So I think it just from doing it so much, and just that scent stays in your brain. And to think of like somebody ingesting that, ooh, that's a no for me. You know what I mean?
A little Olive Garden bread in there. You know what I'm saying?
That's actually what I That's what I imagined. It was like what's the restaurants where they put like olive oil mixed with like some freaking herbs and just like dip the bread in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I was reading about it, I was like, dude, this is like not a 5-star restaurant, you know what I mean? Like it's your front yard.
Someone talked about on YouTube that the Ghost Adventures crew went, that they were told by many that Vlad was considered a hero, and he was, because he was fighting off the Ottomans.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we
know?
have a blurb on it, which I skipped over, and the blurb was that, on his own land, he was seen as a hero. But really, are you telling me, like, if you weren't living in Romania and that wasn't happening, you wouldn't have some sort of fear if you, like, did anything wrong, moved or walked wrong, you wouldn't be the next one? I'm just saying, like, if there's one person that's capable of, like, doing this to over 20,000 people, like, you're gonna have some fear. Like, you're gonna be weary of your surroundings. You know what I mean?
I'm sure starting out, it might have seemed like that. But the impaling didn't start until a few years into him regaining. It's because, like, I don't know how you would compute that in your brain. So I feel like a part of people might have been like, oh, our enemies are on stakes or whatever. But then the other half of it is like, okay, you're going a little too extra here, right? You just put some merchants up on there.
Or it was like he, before the impaling started, oh, this guy deserves his crown back. Well, obviously this is speculation because we don't really know. Right. But he's protecting us from these people. He deserves his crown back. And then he gets his crown back, and then now we're starting these like really violent deaths. But like, it doesn't matter. I would, as a citizen, be really concerned. Like, that's dark.
Nasty.
Well, like they said, they had the smell of death in the city. How could you be?
I don't want Olive Garden bread anymore. That's all I'm gonna think now.
That's not where you dip it in. They don't give you olive oil.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I'm trying to think where you get that at. I don't know. I'm going to be bothered by that all day. No.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well, now we found something else about impaling. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Elfie said Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1993 with Gary Oldman was closer to the book, and they upped the romantic part. Yeah, what is with romance with vampires? Because that's my thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, I love the vampire romance. And not like, like I said, I think Bella needed a freaking backbone in Twilight. Like, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But even in Van Helsing, right? Like, doesn't he have, like, 3 vampire wives or something? Not that I'm into, like...
Dracula does, yeah.
Not that I'm into freaking, what is that called? Polygamy? No, that's a no from me. That doesn't work for me. But I'm way too territorial. I could never share. Nope. There'd be bitch fights going on constantly. Someone's gonna die.
Like, go. You're gonna die. Fine.
But what is it with the romance of vampires? Like, really, like, what is that?
I almost wonder, from a history standpoint, if it's because of the blank, part of history of not knowing Dracula's Vlad's wife.
Mm-hmm.
That was, and the kids that they had and all of that. So maybe it was more of like a glamorized version of what it might have been like behind the scenes. But I mean, I don't think that's how it goes. Okay.
Well,
it's putting people on sticks. Okay, it was a little messed up.
It's not just that though. I think okay, when I was in high school, like if you're backing it up a minute, I was not Like, I'm a little on, like, the alternative edgy side. I was alternative for sure. Like, I was very, like, Gwen Stefani alternative, like, the skater pants with, like, the, like, you know, the straps hanging down and, like, you know, so I was into, like, the alternative side of fashion, but there was, like, some hardcore goths in the 90s, too, of, like, the Liberty spikes and, like, mohawks and, like, the dark makeup and, like, all black and the chains around the neck. So I've never been that goth. There's different sections of goth, but I feel like all alternative goth culture is into the vampire romance stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm into it. Like, I love it. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't even know, what is it? Like, it makes you wonder, is it the mystery?
Maybe.
Kat, are you being mysterious? Is that your way of being mysterious?
Yeah.
No, like think about it. Like, what's your favorite, like, vampire romance? Like, even with, if you like Jacob, if you even team Jacob, it's the same genre. You know what I mean? Of like, I almost said bestiality. Don't say, that's not what I meant to say.
That's what I was trying not to say, because it's not a thing, okay?
Oh my god. I meant, like, that's not what I meant. It's, but, like, it's
lots of disclaimers today.
Yeah, we're having some issues pulling words together. It's been a long 3 weeks. I'm really glad we're here publicly right now, laying ourselves out there.
God bless.
No. Shit, Cat. I'm looking for the word, but it's like mysterious. The unknown, the dark, the edgy. Like Edward got made fun of a lot, and I'm not, like, denying that, like, Edward was kind of, like, sketch, you know what I mean? Like, he's a little sketch, because he's, like, you know, gonna kill Bella when she walks in the classroom because, you know, he can smell her or whatever. Like, I would punch a guy in the throat, okay, just so you know.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? If I was Bella sitting there, I would have backhanded him, like, halfway into class. What's wrong with you? Get a backbone. Like, what are you doing?
Everyone needs a backbone, okay? Everybody from Twilight needs a backbone. It's fine.
But, like, people make fun of Edward because he's, like, so serious and dramatic. And you're right, he is. But I feel like that's the, like, the quiet, serious, dramatic side. Vampire image is, like, creepy, is, like, the attractiveness. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why.
See, and then me with Jacob, I'm like, just take your shirt off. It's fine. Go on a beach. It's fine.
Go on the beach? Is that what you said? Why the beach?
Yeah. Well, because there's, like, that scene with Jacob and Bella, and they're on the beach.
But he doesn't have his shirt on.
Shirt off. Yeah, kiss it off.
Wait, which scene is that?
I'll send it to you later.
Jesus Lord. God.
It's really a long life, you guys.
God,
it's fine.
I don't know. Elfie's sitting here trying to, like, pull us together. She's, like, giving us data, like, here, guys, it's gonna be okay. No, it's not
bad
Elfie.
boy.
It's, what did she say? Is that what she said?
It's the bad boy image, yeah.
Okay, bad boy image. But, like, there is a difference between a bad boy and a dangerous boy. And I feel like Vlad's definitely the dangerous kind. You should stay away from that.
Do not go near, no.
No.
I was going to say don't go near him with the 10-foot pole, and then it got really dark after I said that, and I did not mean to be a pun. Okay, that was just
Oh
fine.
my god, we're messed up, man. I don't know how we have fans. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That or, like, everyone's at home, like, rolling with us. That's what I hope. Or else they think we're just sick. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. I really hope so.
Anything else you want to add to it? But yeah, like, the vampire romance stuff is my thing. It's my gig. In fact, there was something that popped up the other day. One of my friends sent me on social media, and it's a new book series. That's like a new vampire book series. So I was gonna order one on Amazon.
Is it, there's a book out that's from Stephanie Meyer that's, I almost said Jacob.
Edward's
Jacob
version.
Edward's version, yeah.
Cat's a little flabbergasted because of Jacob today. We shouldn't have brought him up.
Take your boo, it's fine.
Oh my god, I'm dead. No, I'm looking for the book title because I have it in my Amazon cart saved.
I can't remember, but I think I gotta get that one. I want to read that one.
Okay, it's called Crave, which I don't know, could be a little, on the naughty side. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's Crave by Tracy Wolff, Wolff. It's 11.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I'll order it and let you guys know if it's if it's good or not. I've heard it's a lot like Twilight, but like not. A lot of people complained about Twilight because it was young. It's supposed to be about young love. You know what I mean? Like,
it's true. It's good though.
Well, and what high schooler isn't dramatic that you know?
It's true.
I mean, I was a drama queen. You were in drama, weren't you?
It's true. Yeah.
So, just waiting on Jacob. I don't know a Jacob. I know a lot of Native American guys. But I hate to tell you that they don't look like Jacob, so I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry, I can't help you there. You know what I mean? So.
It's all right. I'll just read the books. It's fine.
Someday we're going to go to Forks. I mean, it was filmed in Portland, in areas of Portland, but I'd love to make like a road trip up there and like the whole area. Yes.
Oh, pretty.
My God, it'd be so fun.
Beautiful.
Well,
I just love raining all the time.
Do you see? I'm afraid I'd be like. I mean, I like the rain for sure, but like I need some like heat as well. I mean, hence I live in a desert. You know what I mean?
And rainy, and dark, 24/7.
See, I think that would make me depressed. I'm scared.
I love it.
Because there's like.
I mean, not. You know, I just like it because it's like relaxing.
Well, I also have my Jeep though, and I like to take like the top off the Jeep and like drive around. You know what I mean? You can't do that in the rain. You could put like makeshift umbrellas.
You could put like a little umbrella hat.
Just
like,
an umbrella.
They're like umbrella hats, and you're just like, Merp.
Merp. Oh my God. Well, I think we've done enough damage today. You know what I mean?
That's true. It's been a good stream. It's a good stream.
No, it was. It was fun. Because, like, and I should have called it, I think I'm going to change the title. Because I think rather than Vlad the Impaler, like, I really wanted to talk about just, like, the overall discussion of, like, how much vampire pop culture and lore has, like, taken. I love it. I'm into it. I love the vampire stuff without the Vlad thing, without the polygamy thing, without the whole eating blood thing. Like, I'm into all of it. You know what I mean? I don't like the dark side of it and, like, the real consort thing. Like, would you ever be a consort, Kat?
No. No.
I would slap the shit out of somebody if they tried to do that.
Like, where are you? Hear me. Get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here. No hate on people that do that. Just not my thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, well, thank you guys so much for being here with our ridiculousness. Kat and I, you know, get carried away sometimes. It's fun. I like how Elfie and I, when we stream, she's so, like, on the books of, like, bam, bam, bam. Like, she's so, like, thorough. And you and I are like, let's just float away. Let's just
everything. Let's go on the beach, you know? Great.
Oh yeah, she's still thinking about Jacob, everybody. Jesus, Kat. Wasn't he dating Princess Leia's granddaughter or daughter?
I don't know.
He was for a while.
He reminds me of when he was Spy Kids.
Okay, Elfie just said also to try and fix the broken tough guy, the immortality helps too. Yeah, that's true. The immortality is an image of the vampire too, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to be forever on this planet though, man. Like I'm not coming back here. This is a shithole. I'm just saying. It's a rough place to be, man. You know what I'm saying?
It is. It's been a rough one, but you know, we got through it.
I told you, Kat, I didn't want to come back here. And you were like, it's going to be fine.
It's not too bad. We're not in the 1400s. We're not getting impaled, you know? So, like, it's a good time.
Let's look at the good side of this. Let's look at the positive side of this here.
Okay? We're in a panini, but, you know, it's fine.
Oh, my
God.
It's great. The Rona. I'm tired. Need a vacation.
Yeah.
I need a vacation from Earth. Is anybody up there wanting to take me on a vacation? Like, I better not say that. Don't wish that. Look, I don't have time to be abducted, okay? Don't even think about it with your alien craft, all right?
They're on their way over. They're like, what? Well, what do you want? Like, you want
no?
No.
Oh, my God. All right, guys, thank you so much for putting up with Kat and I. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you give us a follow on social media. We will be back. That's next week. I don't even know what the topic is next week. I'm so bad.
I've got like 8 million
anyway,
tabs
yeah, it's with Elfie next week. And make sure you guys take care. Have a good weekend. Make sure you're following us on social media. Go read some vampire shit. Or, like, go watch something. Because now I'm going to watch vampire shit all weekend.
It's true.
Now Kat's going to go look up Jacob pictures and change the background on her phone.
You know. The usual.
Thanks, guys, so much. As always, we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Guys.